Imagine a canvas.
A shape.
A few lines, a dab of color.
Imagine a painting with form.
Rhythm. Harmony.
Motif.
With a purpose. Picture a Picasso. A Rembrandt. Renoir. Van Gogh. A Cassatt. A Monet. A Rubens. A Chagall.
A Klimt.
Imagine a lady with a mysterious smile. The creation of Adam. The birth of a Venus. A night full of stars. A field of sunflowers. A man locked in an eternal scream. Ah! Imagine art. Picture art. Picture life. Picture joy.
Picture man's triumph over boredom and uncertainty.
Picture man's quest for enlightenment. Picture a good way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Picture art.
Art!
Art is truth. Vincent van Gogh.
Art is not the truth, but a lie that makes us see the truth. Pablo Picasso.
I found that I could say things with colors and shapes that I couldn't say any other way. Things I had no words for. Georgia O'Keeffe.
Art is not what you see, but what you make others see. Edgar Degas.
Art is either plagiarism or revolution. Paul Gauguin.
Every artist, regardless of talent, has one great masterpiece. One work in which his mind stands far beyond the rest. Whether or not the rest of the world agrees doesn't change a thing. To the artist, it remains a masterpiece. Rene Magritte. This is the story of an artist and her struggle to find that masterpiece. Her journey to discover that for which we are all looking. Her
Masterpiece.
Imagine an artist.
She could be your neighbor.
Your friend, the girl in line behind you in the grocery store.
That girl that hit you with a volleyball in gym class.
She is 6 years old here, so you may not recognize her.
That's her coloring a picture with her crayons. Crayola crayons, the big fat ones.
Purple.
Red.
Blue.
Yellow.
That's her drawing anemic cars and anorexic animals.
My mommy and daddy and the puppy too.
And and always her friend Molly.
Molly and a fire engine.
Molly and the mailman. Molly and a can of peaches.
Molly and a monkey wearing roller skates.
Because that way the bears can't catch him. Duh.
Molly and a monkey wearing roller skates. Because that way the bears can't catch him. Duh.
Teacher, teacher, she's coloring outside the lines.
She always colors outside of the lines.
Staying inside the lines is boring. Sometimes horses run outside their corrals. Sometimes cars drive on the grass. Sometimes my soup spills out of the bowl. So why do I have to stay inside the lines?
Because staying inside of the lines gets you a gold star.
But going outside the lines gives you orange hair, or green skin, or purple puppies. And those are much more fun than a gold star.
And if she didn't like how those lines were drawn, she drew new ones. She drew everything she saw. She drew on everything she saw. When she ran out of paper, she switched to tables, walls, Daddy's briefcase, Daddy.
Then one day, Mommy and Daddy caught her drawing on the walls. The artist was afraid of what Mommy and Daddy would say. For one thing, the form was all wrong, and she didn't capture the highlights and the shadows quite right.
But instead of scolding her, they framed her art and showed it to all of the neighbors.
And then they promised to take her to the zoo.
Can I bring Molly?
Of course she could.
Molly was her best friend, a crayon drawing that came to life one bored Tuesday morning.
Just because the artist was the only one who could see Molly didn't make her any less real.
Together, their favorite thing in the world was going to the zoo.
Yeah!
First, they saw the tigers.
Ooh, Molly, look! Flamingos!
Then they saw the wolves. Come to think of it, no one really ever sees the wolves, do they? But the artist drew them anyway.
Giraffe!
And when they got home, the artist and Molly drew pictures of every animal they saw. Every fish, every bird, every ant.
Time passed, as it does. Molly said goodbye. The artist grew up. Crayons were traded in for pencils, paints, and colored chalks.
She experimented with clay.
She experimented with sculpture. She tried her hand at things more avant-garde and surreal.
There's a penguin in my eye. Some ideas worked better than others.
But it was in painting that the artist found her true calling.
She loved the intensity of the colors.
The ease of the brushstroke.
The smell of a wet canvas.
The ability to convey her thoughts like no other medium could.
She wanted to spend the rest of her life painting.
Time passed, as it does. The artist painted all through high school and all through college. When the day finally came, the big day, graduation day.
The headmaster clapped her on the shoulder, gave her a paintbrush and a blank white canvas, saying,
It's time. Go out and paint. The world is waiting for your masterpiece.
My masterpiece. I like the sound of that.
before. Get to it.
Do it!
All right.
I'll get to it. I'll paint. What do I paint? Oh, sure. Now they shut up.
Sam, it's pretty good. How much you want for it?
How much? Oh no, it's not for sale. I thought maybe it could be my masterpiece, but this one wasn't it.
But it's still pretty good. You should consider going into business.
Business?
Yes, business. My cousin owns a business 2 towns over. She's looking for painters like yourself. With your level of talent, you could go straight to the top.
The top. Not a bad place to go. Perhaps it was the business world that would help her create her masterpiece. So she collected all of her things and went to go see the boss.
Welcome, welcome. I've heard a lot of good things about you, so don't let me down, kid. Don't let me down. We run a straight 440 here with a 15 every 3 hours. You'll be in sector 15D in your locker on the Green Concourse. My office is in W17. But if you get lost, go see Margie at 46L, who'll give you the proper forms to fill out. Plant runs until the whistle blows. No painting outside of the lines. Here's the proper forms you'll need to fill out in triplicate to deliver Margie 46L before your shift starts. Now, good luck.
How was your weekend, Shirley?
Just great. We took the kids to the lake.
Excuse me, bud.
So Phyllis, did you catch the game yesterday?
Sure did. That Puerto Rican was awesome. Pardon me. Am I doing this right?
Hey, Scooter, we were hours off last week.
I don't know, Skip. Better ask Margie.
So it's lunge, then move.
Watch out, new kid.
So the doctor said I have to have surgery on my knee.
My sister had that done once. I'll tell ya. I've never seen such a gang artist hotel.
But were we?
The boss has been riding me to get my 4th quarter numbers up.
Oh man, that's tough.
So then someone stole my donuts from the break room.
Break time!
But were we painting?
Dollar bills.
Do we get to paint anything else?
No, ma'am, just dollar bills.
What? All day?
Of course. Why would we paint anything else? Money is the only thing that matters around here.
Ain't it great?
Back to work.
How was your weekend, Shirley?
Just great. We took the kids to the lake.
So Phyllis, did you catch the game yesterday?
Sure did. That Puerto Rican was awesome.
Hey, Scooter, we were hours off last week.
I don't know, Skip. Better ask Margie.
Dejected, the artist wandered the streets. It was clear she would be able to paint her masterpiece under those conditions.
There was no variety. There was no meaning. There was no art. This simply wouldn't do. After all, wasn't she an artist? She wandered for the next couple of days trying to find something to be the subject of her masterpiece. As she wandered, she stumbled upon an old woman praying.
May I join you? You look troubled.
I am. I'm afraid I won't be able to find my masterpiece.
Oh, you're young. Give it time, it will come. But if you're always looking for inspiration, there's always...
She pointed to the old gray church in the town square.
The old woman was right. Perhaps her inspiration just needed to be a bit more divine. She thanked her fellow pilgrim and headed toward the church. At the door, she was met by two men dressed in black. Their calm and welcoming demeanor put her instantly at ease.
Come in.
Please.
Sit where you like.
They left her alone with her thoughts. Religious icons filled the cathedral, filling her senses and instilling a peace inside of her.
This could give me the tranquility I need to make my masterpiece.
She thought of Michelangelo and Bernini and all of the things they've done for the church. She could do the same. She grabbed a paintbrush and immediately started painting.
Pardon me, miss, but what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just capturing my thoughts.
I see. I'm terribly sorry, but we can't allow you to do that here.
I'm sorry?
Yes, painting is forbidden by the Book of Rules.
The Book of Rules?
Yes.
That kind of artistic intent detracts from our true purpose here.
Which is?
To study the Book of Rules.
Among other things.
Yes, among other things.
But, if you like, you can stay here and make stained glass windows.
You see, they're functional. They serve a purpose.
The artist thought about this for a minute. While not what she had in mind, she could still create a masterpiece with stained glass. Her mind raced with different color combinations she could use. Shapes flooded her imagination. She could do this. She could do this well. It wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. And sometimes good enough is good enough.
Gentlemen,
She responded.
show me the way.
They led her to a workshop where other workers were cutting the glass. Heat from the ovens was intense, but her newly found sense of purpose excited her and kept her from noticing anything else.
Now, before you begin, remember what you are doing is not for your personal glory.
But, for the glory of the church,
I can agree to that.
And you may not work on Sundays.
or after sundown,
Okay.
Only use the colors which we provide for you.
your first window must be complete within 40 days.
Only use the shapes which we provide for you.
While on break, you may only read from the Book of Rules.
Only use the patterns which we provide for you.
There will be no fraternizing with the other workers.
Only use the tools which we provide for you.
There will be no food or drink allowed in the workshop.
Above all else, the Book of Rules is always correct.
Dejected, the artist slipped out of the church unnoticed and kept walking until she was out of the town. This couldn't be it, she thought. A masterpiece can't be that structured, that laid out or prone to compromise. Religion is faith, and faith lives in people, not buildings or rules. Good art doesn't follow the rules. Great artists become great by not following the rules. She couldn't settle. Suddenly her good enough wasn't so good anymore. But was she really good enough to create a masterpiece? She'd already tried twice, and failed twice, and now was facing a long dark path ahead of her. Taking a deep breath and sighing a deep sigh, she trudged on. On her way home, the artist stopped to feed some ducks when she was nearly run over by a young man.
Oh, you should really watch where you're going.
And why? It's so much more fun to watch everything else along the way. Take those ducks, for instance. If I were watching where I was going, I never would have noticed that one of them is 3 times larger than the others. Or the male has it real bad for the female.
He took a deep, overly important bow and introduced himself as a daydreamer.
Are you a daydreamer too?
I'm an artist.
Same thing.
The artist couldn't help but like him. She came back to the park the next day and watched as he was playing jump rope with some kids on the playground. On the second day, she watched as he did nothing but look at clouds all afternoon.
And the third day, he asked to walk her home.
Time passed, as it does. Autumn came and went, and the artist spent more time with the daydreamer. When he wasn't looking, she would paint pictures of him.
Playing with the stray dog.
Swimming in the fountain.
Reading a newspaper on the park bench.
Falling asleep in her lap on the picnic blanket.
There was something childlike about his curiosity about everyone and everything that passed his eye. His energy was endless and infectious.
It didn't take long for her to fall in love with him. Real love. Not the mad, infatuous crush of a schoolgirl, but honest love.
The kind of love that inspired artists like Renoir or Cassatt.
The kind of love that inspired Rubens to paint his angels.
The kind of love to drive Van Gogh mad enough to cut off his own ear.
And he returned her love every chance he got. He brought dandelions to place in her hair.
And he read her plays using different voices for each of the characters.
And when the weather got colder, he would cook soup for her.
She loved him so, and filled canvas upon canvas with pictures of him. Images, shapes, lines swirled through her brush. She felt free, uninhibited, alive.
Love felt divine. It provided her with the inspiration she needed. Could this be it? The greatest cliche in the history of the world. Who would have thought?
And after a year of this romantic bliss, she finally decided it was the time to paint her masterpiece. She went into the room that had now become her studio. There she found all of the paintings that she had made of the daydreamer.
Here was one of him rowing a boat and singing off key.
The one of him dancing in the snow.
The one of him pretending to be a penguin.
She giggled to herself. Then looked back again. Something was wrong. Something was missing from this picture.
And this one.
And the next and the next.
And all of them. Something was missing.
Me.
Hundreds of pictures of the daydreamer, but she hadn't painted herself into a single one.
Was this how she saw herself? Unimportant?
She thought back over the past year. Everything she had done was for him, not for them.
But she loved him, didn't she? And he loved her back.
But something wasn't right. She didn't know what was supposed to happen, but she knew this wasn't it.
In a panic, she ran. The artist ran and ran.
And ran, and ran, and ran.
She didn't know what she was running from.
Perhaps she was running from the daydreamer.
From her life.
From herself.
Perhaps she was just running because it was the only thing that made sense.
She ran and ran.
And ran and ran and ran.
She ran until she collapsed, exhausted. It was there she fell asleep.
She dreamt of nothing, of nothingness. Shapes whirled past her head. Colors, lines.
The artist saw a shape on the horizon. As it grew larger, she made out a boat on the water.
The boat sailed past, as though the artist herself was nothing but a lighthouse keeping watch over the shore.
Trying to get a bearing on her surroundings, the artist explored further.
Do you want to play with me?
I don't have time to play.
Please? It'll be so much fun.
I'm sure it would, but I really don't have time to play.
Are you busy?
I'm busy.
Are you too busy?
I'm too busy.
Are you too busy wasting your life trying to find your masterpiece?
I'm too busy wasting my life. What? How do you know about me?
I know more than you think. Does this look familiar?
A painter. So then, if you
You're not listening. I didn't say give up. I said stop looking. You won't find it. Just let it happen. It will find you.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're looking too hard. And you're painting for all the wrong reasons. Painting to serve the church. Painting to make money. Painting to immortalize someone. When you were 6, what was your favorite thing in the whole world?
That's easy. Coloring.
Ah. Now, why did you color?
Because it was fun.
Because it was fun.
Exactly. What happened to the fun? Art doesn't need a purpose. It is at its best when created out of sheer bliss and sheer joy.
I get it. Sing for the joy that your supper is free.
Even when you're at your darkest and the most depressed, paint into. Paint what you feel. Paint because you feel. It will still be fun.
Suddenly, everything made sense. The great weight had been lifted off of her shoulders. She was 6 again.
Images flooded her mind of new things to paint. Colors intermingled with lines, shapes. New harmonies floated around her head.
Perspectives and angles.
Rhymes and textures.
Art. The art came back.
Who are you? What are you?
A friend.
Molly! Did you do all of this?
Uh-huh. I've always been with you, watching you. You had me worried for a second, but you seem to have found your way.
I just needed a good guide.
So, I suppose you'll be waking up soon then?
I'm in no hurry. What do you say we go to the zoo? One more time. Look, Molly, the wolves. Goodbye, Molly. I'll see you when I wake up.
The artist awoke, relaxed, refreshed, and renewed.
She also realized that she is a long, long way from home.
Oh well,
She said,
I guess I'll just have to take the scenic route home.
which she did.
On the way, she picked flowers, painted pictures for total strangers, and realized she missed the daydreamer.
She did indeed love him. While she painted hundreds of pictures of him, none of them were a masterpiece, but they were still pretty good.
And they were painted out of love, joy, and bliss.
About halfway home, the artist came upon a sailmaker who had just discarded a large scrap of canvas. Feeling inspired by the night air, she painted a sky on the canvas.
The zoo.
Then, a splash of color, a sparkle of light.
The factory.
Images flowed out of her. The factory, the church, Molly, the daydreamer, the dream, the zoo, all of it. All of it flowed onto the canvas. Along with her sweat, her frustrations.
And her ambitions.
Finally, she had found her masterpiece.
She painted for 3 days straight. On the 4th day, she took one final step back to look at her work.
Looks good.
Thanks.
Looks really good.
Thanks.
I missed you.
I'm sorry I had to go.
I know. I followed you, though. You're worth chasing after. Here, drop these.
Oh, I kind of got sidetracked.
I can see that. It's missing something.
What?
Here. It's missing the most important part. Now it's a masterpiece.
Every artist, regardless of talent, has one great masterpiece. One work in which her mind stands far beyond the rest.
Whether or not the rest of the world agrees doesn't change a thing.
To the artist, it remains a masterpiece.